Welcome everyone to LGE for a Wednesday tier race for the Road to Glory League, and hopefully you already recognise it. No place like home. We're at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, of course, in the heart of England, where we usually see an absolutely blinding race. Not just because it's a home circuit for me, it's one of my favourite tracks on the calendar. There isn't a huge amount of elevation change, but the corners are absolutely mighty around here. And of course, talking about the track, we've got 18 corners at this circuit. It's 5.891 kilometres in length. There's 2 DRS zones, and that's between turn 5 and turn 6, which is Beckett's. Sorry, getting it all wrong already today. It's Brooklands, and then out of Chapel after Maggots and Beckett's, and all the way down to Stowe Corner. This is 2 DRS zones. We've got 17 drivers this evening for this full qualifying session. So we're only going to be losing 2 in the first part. So slight pressure off for some of the drivers, but of course the ones that are used to being more towards the back, the pressure is still on not to be in those final 2. Talking of championship standings, the driver on top at the moment is Short Marcus. Chuck is in second, and just to tell you about the points, 67 points for Short Marcus. Chuck is on 63, 58 points for Josh McGill in third. Then Chuckles fourth on 51, 34 points for Aki. The Williams team are on 94 points at the moment, of course, leading the drivers' standings as well, with Short Marcus, and Alfa Romeo on 85 points in second. If you want to look at the rest of the standings, you'll have to see them on the Instagram account, of course, official at official_LGE, and that'll be just after the race because I wasn't able to do it before. I've actually only just realised, so apologies for that, but you will be able to see the standings after the race, and we will do a bit of catch up with the moments of the week in the highlights video when we have a week break next week. I'm not sure if we've got a 1 or 2 week break. I'll have to find out in a second when we talk to Lee Beattie. How you doing, mate?
I'm all good, man. Yeah, brilliant track here tonight. Looking forward to this being a good race. But
yeah. So sorry, go on. No, go on.
No, it was no. When the people were coming out there, I noticed it took a little bit extra time coming out of the boxes, so you suspect then maybe it could be a little bit spicy in the race.
Are we having a curry, are we, Lee? Or are we talking rain?
I'm thinking rain. Just hope it's not the brown kind.
Oh, lovely. As we are seeing drivers out on the circuit, as I just said, Lee, do you know, I haven't gotten a definite response on this. Is it a 2-week break for next week, or we just got the 1 and then we're starting again on 23? I'm trying to work out the dates in my head, but I'm not sure if that's possible.
I think it's possibly a couple of week break, 2 or 3 week break.
I think it's a 2-week break. I'm pretty sure. If anyone's in the comments and knows, just let us know. Thank you.
I think it's just going to get everyone warmed up to the game and that first before they continue the season.
Yes, I think we still will have as we've got a pretender in the comments. He's not here tonight, but looks like he will be watching along. We've had 6 drivers set lap times. 3 of them in the 128s, 2 in the 29s, and just seen Mad Max, who's finished his lap in the 130s, where Red Bull's going out of his way. Lee Craig sets a lap time of a 132 on the intermediate tyre. We do see that quite often in Q1. I'm still unsure why they do this.
I think it's just to keep them, give them something to do, because they know they're going to get through anyway, really, into the next qualifying session.
Whoa. You really want to go to... Okay, you say that. There's still 2 places to be lost.
I think that would be more their thinking, rather.
Okay, there we go. Don't want to get any curses in the way. We've only been on stream for 5 minutes, mate.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
So we've got more drivers on intermediate tyres. I think people are hoping. Is it more the hope that 2 people crash out, which means they're out, and the intermediate time would just stick as a time that they needed to set, and they've kept all of their dry sets of tyres fresh for the next session? But when you say about rain, Lee, isn't this a little counterintuitive?
Yeah, I would say so, but judging by the time that they came to come out the garage, it was a good, like, at least 90 seconds, and usually you end up seeing at least a couple of people come out straight away, so it's just going to have to wait and see. If anyone knows in the chat section, fire it in. We'll let me know how the weather's going to be. We've got Looney Man saying, how's it going, lads? Looney in the chat as well. Welcome along. 29th of June is the first race after tomorrow for Thursday tier.
Yeah, so it's a 2-week break. So we've got 2 weeks off from today. Of course, as you know, we're on round 4.
Oh, I thought Mike Jones there was going after, but he
just cut the track. So we'll have 2 weeks off. I'm assuming it's the 10 round season. It would just mean that after today, everything you see on calendar wise, whether you're seeing it in the Discord server or on the Instagram account, will be pushed back 1 week. I'm not sure if they will revise the calendar to reflect that. We'll have to see. But this will be the final time in Wednesday League, final time, the penultimate time, Lee, that I think we'll be commentating on F1 22 actually now.
Yeah, I think tomorrow may possibly be the last time, I think.
Yes, it will be.
That was kind of an end to an era. But
not a very good era in terms of game. In terms of game, my commentating's been tip top, mate. I don't know about you, but in terms of the game, yeah, I'm kind of glad to see the back of this game. No, I am glad to see the back of this game. This has been a terrible game.
Yeah, I'm fair to say it's mince, and that's putting it mildly.
I don't really swear on stream, but it was shit. I can't think of another word for it. It was shit. Phil's around at the start finish. Yeah, he must have been just starting a lap. So unless he has a very slow cooldown lap here. He won't have enough fuel to go again. So who else have we got on the lap? We've got Chuck, who's actually just catching up on Vil as he makes his way through turn 3 and through turn 4, the loop, and then through Aintree, and now down the Wellington Straight towards Brooklands, which is quite a fast and committed left-hander. And then you go into Luffield, where it's a tricky corner to get right, whether to get closer to the curve or sort of stay more to the middle of the circuit, but you really want a good launch out of that corner as we make our way towards Cops, which isn't flat. It's just it's a gear change down and a little lift, and then through Maggots, which is flat, and then just a little lift through Beckett's and just a dab of the brake through the second part, and then through Chapel, which is easy flat, and down the Hanger Straight towards Stowe, which is the last high-speed corner on the circuit. He has a really nice exit there, and now down into Club Corner, which is a tricky chicane, and into a tightening right-hander for turn 18, and on to the Hamilton Straight as he goes into first place. But as we said, this track is demanding, but also just I find so fun. Have you got yourself on mute, my friend?
Sorry, it was just been a little bit of technical difficulties there. But yeah, sorry, I was. What was that? I was being on board with Chuckle.
I said Silverstone. It's demanding, but it is also really fun as a circuit.
Oh yeah, definitely, and like it's so surreal. Like when you're actually there, compared to like just seeing it on a game or on TV. Like just remembering back to when we were there, and it was just so different. Like to just like being there. I was just thinking about that when you were running out the Chuckle a lot.
Chuckle now goes into ninth. We've got just over 5.5 minutes left in the session. Still 4 drivers yet to set a lap, and DRL Mike is now on a lap. Just completed sector 1 as he makes his way into the right-hander of Luffield, where Lee said we were. We were looking from the sort of standing area on the apex of Luffield as he makes his way through Woodcote and down towards Cops. I said little downshift to 7th, little lift, and on our way we go to Maggots and Beckett's. And I think for a sequence of corners, Lee, this is the best on the calendar. Maybe something like the S's that Suzuka may match it as well because of the elevation change, but just that whole section from Luffield down to Maggots and Beckett's in Chapel before we get on to the Hanger Straight is just awesome. I love that part of the circuit. My favourite part of the circuit.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just whether you can just push it flat and just try and keep just lifting off as little as you can. It's just one of those challenges you always push yourself to do. Pretty much.
Yeah, and the other thing, just talking about the track itself, but more towards the racing. There's so many places here where you can overtake. You can do it. Sorry, just bear with me 1 second. You can do it at not really at turn 1. Sorry, I was just reading a comment. You can do it at turn 3. Obviously, we used to have a DRS zone when we went into turn 1, but they got rid of that. So you can do it at turn 3, turn 6, which is Brooklands. We've seen a few moves at Cops before. It does happen, and then into Stowe, and then the final chicane as well. All like most sections on the track, you can make moves here, and there's not many circuits on the calendar like that. Maybe Spa. Monza to an extent, but that's even like here it's got a lot of straights, but I think modern day Formula 1 really does thrive on long straights, heavy corners now. That's where I think we're at, and I think that's why they changed the Spanish Grand Prix layout as well again.
I've got to say, it was again, it wasn't my favourite Grand Prix, to be honest.
No, it wasn't, but it was definitely better. It was better than it had been before. So
yeah, definitely.
And I think not testing there the last couple of years. Well, no, we did last year actually, but this year that may help the circuit as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously they knew so much about the track, it was just like plug.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, something happened to my mic, did it?
It just cut out there for a second.
Oh, yeah, I was saying Spain always used to be sort of a plug-in-and-play circuit for the teams.
Oh yeah, basically it was just, well, they'd already drilled it so many times during pre-season testing, they essentially just had all the data that they needed to just, bang, there we go, away the way it is. They just really had to maybe make little minor upgrades that they had. Just test them out, that's about it really.
Anyone in the comments, am I just being a bit patriotic with Silverstone, or is it one of your... it's Rain in the Race by the looks of it, is in the comments by Short Marcus, who I hope is better now, because if you didn't notice, on Monday, Lee helmed how the commentating on Monday, because Short Marcus was unavailable and he was ill, so Lee was the super sub on Monday, and that didn't seem. I had to retire halfway through just due to some not racing issues. But being in the race, that race lead did seem like a very good one, actually.
Yeah, it was quite entertaining. There was quite a few good overtakes and
My defending was tip top.
Your arse, you splooge socket.
Yeah. There's a comment from.
You did do quite well.
Yeah, Short Marcus just put a comment in there. I didn't catch it in time.
He says, yeah, feeling better, still tired, but he's okay. Thank you. Massive thank you for covering Tom's fleet. Yep, you're welcome, bud.
He's not well enough to do commentating, but he's well enough to race. I see how it is, Lee. As I think, because we had the two drivers, it was almost just. I said before, myself a plug-in and play for these drivers just to get a lap time in. Bill's about to come across the line. He has improved and does go through to Q2, and Mad Max has been knocked out alongside Royal Rumble, who never set a lap time in this session. Chuck's on top at the end. At the end of Q1, as Short Marcus says, I bet he had a voice on Monday. I suppose you don't need to have a voice to race unless someone crashes into you, and then your voice seems to. Well, in my case. So it said. Yeah, I had a certain Mercedes driver on Monday I wasn't too pleased with. I won't name names. So that's the end of Q1. As I said, quite uneventful. Almost. I can't think of the word. Still can't think of the word. A formality. Had a brain fart then. A formality for these drivers just to get a lap in. Unfortunately for Mad Max, he was a 3 and a bit tenths off, 3.5 tenths off or so. So it was still quite close. But now we're just waiting for the end for it to come to an end, should I say, with Jasper, and he's coming into the pit, so I think we're going to have a little bit longer to wait, Lee.
Yep.
In that case, just gives me.
There we go. He's done the good thing and retired.
All right. Well, I know you do the standing, so I'll be back in a second.
Right. No worries then. So yeah, that was what a bit of an interesting first qualifying session with Royal Rumble not setting a lap. So he's out, unfortunately. Mad Max missing out by 2 tenths. Oh, just over, just a quarter of a second. But there we go. The first of 3 qualifying sessions is over now. So we'll get onto the final standings for qualifying 1. Getting Chuck in first place with a 120.8. And then close behind him was Mike in second place, and then we've got Ginge, Matthew, Short Marcus in 5th, then 6th was Josh McGill, Chuckle in 7th, 8th was Bugatti, AJ Baker in 9th, Lee Craig in 10th, Andy in 11th, Jesper in 12th, Aki was 13th, 14th Sville, Matty Jones just making it through in 15th, Mad Max unfortunately not quick enough to get his time in 15th and get him out of the drop zone. And the Royal Rumble didn't even set a time, so he is out also. So moving on, we've got the final 15. Let's see what they guys are going to be able to do.
That's right, you got the talking farts like me as well. I had that at the very
well,
start. That hasn't happened for a long time. So, it says there could be rain in the race, which, with what Short Marcus said, It screams to me it's going to be a mixed weather, mixed condition race. Because he didn't say there was. So are we going to see a dry start? I would presume.
Race by the looks of it.
By the looks of it, exactly.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Well, we'll have to see. But unfortunately, we don't ever get anything.
Keep your secrets in.
You keep your secrets. So, AJ Baker disqualified from qualifying for blocking the pit lane. I think he got a bit heavy on the right foot as he got to the giveaway line, basically, for the pit exit. And that's harsh, but it is quite harsh with the pit lane. Whenever you spin or if you sort of slow down, I've seen in the past where some drivers, I think, have just slowed down a little bit to give another driver in front of them a bit more space, and it has disqualified you for being too slow. Or letting cars through on a fast lap when you come out a little bit later on. And it disqualifies you. Yeah, so hopefully that changes for next game. As I said, another reason why I'm glad to see the back of this game.
Or the worst kind, when you're just trying to let some traffic through when you spun out in the race. Because there's no clear, so it's either you get disqualified or you get your car wrecked.
Yeah, not so bad with the ghosting on.
Fair enough, but when you've got it off...
The only thing that I actually agree with, which I'm not sure if they meant to do or not, is the beaching. I actually like that. I like it because it's realistic. I wish unless you kept the car going as well, if you got stuck in the gravel, that's it. Like, I really wish that was it. Like, it would make the racing probably make people, when they go side by side, maybe people who are a little bit more aggressive than others, maybe tone it down a little bit. Because they know, even, not just them, but the person they're racing could end up in the gravel. But the beaching thing, I do actually like, but I'm still unsure whether that was meant or not. I know they ride lower.
I would say so. I wonder if adjusting your right height would help it.
It should do, but it's the only sad thing about the game. There's no visual reference. No. I'd love to see it as a commentator as well. And I think I've said this before about maybe having 3 or 4 different wing types when it changes from a certain 10. I know we go up to 50, so I don't know, but 15
just
or
so
8.
Like the less it is, the more fucking level the wing is. Pretty much.
Yeah, and you don't have to do it for every increment, just do it in blocks of 15 or 20 points and then change it, just so we had an idea. It might be some races, they'd all look the same, I imagine, but I'm sure there would be a few races, maybe one like this, because this one's an interesting one in terms of the game, because there's a lot of high-speed corners, but there's a lot of straights here, whereas somewhere like Belgium it does, but the straights kind of outweigh, but the corners here are super important.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing times start to come in now. Josh McGill with a 127.7, going fastest there out of the first lot up to now. Jesper, who's first set lap with 129.5 in Aston Martin. Let's see who else is coming across the line. Seeing Ginger with 128.2, just 3/10 behind Matty Jones. Now, I've seen that gap between second and fourth are really, really closer. Just a ball here between the 3 of them there. Chuck just moving up into 7th place there. And I think we just got Andy coming into the final section now.
Yeah, we had short markers just crossed the line as well. He's gone into second. And Andy into second now and drops short markers down to third.
Now, that gap between second and 6th place, less than a 10th.
Wow.
Less than a 10th between, 5 drivers.
I think this track also suits this game with these cars because they're not great in the slow speed. They're very tricky in terms of, especially if you're running no traction control. High speed, not so bad. They're actually all right. So this is one of the circuits I think you'll see less spins than you usually do. And yes, it is driver error, but the cars on this game were so unforgiving. As Mike goes up to second.
Yeah, nicely done there from him. But yeah, like even like the actual drivers say that it doesn't feel right. Even medium traction control feels actually more realistic than no traction control on this game. I think it might have been Norris maybe that said it, I think.
Yeah, well, Lando plays. He gets involved in the game quite a bit, doesn't he? I know people like Max Verstappen loves his sim racing, but he doesn't play the F1 game. But I suppose it's a game rather than a sim, so that may be one of the main reasons why he doesn't play it. I've heard people call out for a virtual Grand Prix of Imola if we didn't have it, which I thought was quite a funny idea.
I think did they not actually do that?
No. Well, I mean, this year.
No, I thought there was an event that they were going to do, like the Red Bull sort of like team.
Oh.
Like from like F2 and F3 and everything as well.
Oh, I thought it was a joke.
Oh, I don't know, well, it was or no. God knows now
then. So, everyone's in the pits. The only driver who hasn't set a lap is Chuckle. Of course, AJ Baker also hasn't set a lap, but he's been disqualified from the session, which happened straight away as he went to come out of the pit lane. And I didn't see it straight away. Saw him being disqualified, but he must have spun somewhat and blocked the pit lane for others to get out. Of course, you don't have control of the car in the pit lane. And the only control you have in the race is the timing into the pit box. I would like to see that then be adapted into actually having control of it. Maybe a setting one day, Lee, to have it how it is now with just the button. It does that bit automatically, and then having another more realistic setting where you can actually drive into your box and you'll get penalised if obviously you could run over your team, but I mean, just giving you just giving you just a time penalty, I suppose. Like it takes a lot longer for them to put the tyres on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I remember back in what one was it? F1 thing. It came out in like 2007, possibly. It was a championship edition. But it was
6.
Was it 2006? Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
It was like a quick time event.
I do.
It was like press circle, square.
Yes. I don't think you could do that now.
No.
I don't know if they ever did that online. Did they do that online, or was it automatic? A long time ago, though. Believe it or not, we're talking 13 years ago.
What?
What are you confused about?
13 years ago.
F1 Championship 2006. 13 years ago. What am I about? It's like 17 years ago.
That's better.
Yeah.
I was like, could you math?
And we've got Linny B back watching again. She said the 1&1. Oh, is it? Oh, it's an internet company. I never knew that. It's a German internet company.
What, 1&1?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Never even know.
No, I didn't know that either. So, we've got 2 drivers out on the circuit. Others waiting for that clock to tick down a bit longer. Of course, we only had 2 out in Q1, and now we're only going to have 4 out in Q2. who are able to set times. I said AJ Baker being disqualified. Apologies, AJ, if you're actually listening to the stream. I don't mean to rub it in. As I think Chuck is on a lap at the moment. He's got 128.858 to his name so far. And as he goes through Beckett's and through Chapel, seeing a lot of grass cutting there on the apex of Chapel. I don't know if you noticed, there's a lot of tyre marks off the curb, so drivers really taking a lot of entry of the corner, a lot of apex, which doesn't seem to be slowing them down as he makes his way through the final corner, turn 18, moves up to third place. It's a much better lap from Chuck, 8 tenths faster than his previous.
Nicely done from the Ferrari man. So I think it is fair to say that he's most likely going to be safe. But then again, it could all.
We say that there's as you said, there's 3 tenths between second and eighth, so 7 cars. There's 3 tenths separating them. So
it's just over a second between first and 10th.
And I'm sure that'll narrow down when we get all the drivers coming out for their final attempts. We've got 8 drivers starting his final attempt. I think Chuckle has as well. He's just started and going through turn 1 as we've got a yellow flag. I think that's Andy just slowing down. Jesper is 3 tenths up on his first lap as he makes his way through Luffield and then down the old start-finish straight through Woodcut. And now just the lift in the down of a gear for Cops. And now the short blast towards Maggots and Beckett's. The car is absolutely on rails through this point where you need it to be to get yourself a decent lap time. As you see there through Chapel, keeps it on the curb where drivers have been taking to the grass. And now down to turn 15, Stowe. Run it out wide until we get back over to the right-hand side for 16, which is the 3-part chicane, I suppose, of Chapel. Oh, sorry, Club, not Chapel. As he goes into 9th place with a 128.6. He's still got enough fuel on board to go again, and he's got time. So I think Jesper's probably going to try and stay out and go for another attempt.
Oh, Chuck will slotting out into P2 there with 27.8.
Still very close between the top 10. So we still got Matthew outside the top 10, as well as Bugatti, as well as Aki. And Vil, just watching Matthew, he's about to start his final attempt. If he gets a good lap in, this is a driver that can get himself into Q3 and get himself on to pole, and Aki is round. I think he just started his lap.
Yep, he did. He was just coming into turn 1 and just the tail end just went from him.
Maybe just needs a little lift where he didn't expect to. So Aki's going to be out in Q2. He's going to be starting 14th. That's for sure, as he's the last driver to have set a lap time, and that was a 129.1. Not good enough to make his way through, and that's why he was on another lap before he subsequently spun at turn 1. As we're back with Matthew. And also Vil. And Jesper is going again. The battery is charged up. It's ready for a full deployment as he makes his way around turn 18 onto the Hamilton straight and now down into Abbey, which is turn 1. And through the farm curve. and into Village. As we've had a driver move up, I think that was... I'm not sure who that was, actually, who just moved up. Lee Craig. And now we've had Matty Jones with 27.8.
And we've got Matthew coming in with a 127.6. Absolutely smashing Josh McGill there.
Short markers making his way into club. Around the penultimate, round the final corner. And to the line, he's safe for the time being, but makes sure of it with a 127.5. Puts him into first place. Potentially will stay there. I think that's Ginge. It's just crossed the line. Gone third fastest.
Jasper spins at Chapel.
And he's going to be out. I think he was the last driver. We've got Aki, who's out. Jesper's going to be out. He did save up enough battery and fuel. I'm not sure if he was up on his time or not. Shuckle coming across the line. He didn't improve on his lap, but he didn't need to. So there you go, ladies and gents. That's your top 10 for the start of Q3. So still leave very, very close indeed. We've got 6/10 between the top 10. Is that right? 6/10?
Yep, just over 6/10.
Almost 7/10. So it did get closer together by the end of the session.
Yeah, definitely. And I could notice that these drivers are all on quite a similar pace to each other here, so I'm suspecting it's going to be quite a nice race, and it's going to be quite interesting with the inclusion of the little bit of rain. We've seen Short Marcus getting the first in the Q2 session, Matthew in second, third was Ginge, Josh McGill in fourth, fifth was Matty Jones, sixth was Chuck Allmike in seventh, eighth was Chuck, ninth was Lee Craig, and Andy was 10th. They will all be moving on to the third and final qualifying session. And the ones who will be starting in 11th is Bugatti, 12th will be Jesper, Vil will be 13th, 14th will be Aki, and 15th AJ Baker.
So, Short Marcus just said then that he's surprised he's topped a quali session because that's usually his weakness. And to be fair, he definitely makes it up in the race. Certainly last season when he won the Sunday Championship, which is now turned into the Wednesday Championship. So he's still the reigning champion, even though we changed days. So he's now got 12 minutes or just under that now to go in qualifying before the timer hits 0. And we've got our final 10 drivers. I don't ever really keep a log, Lee, of qualifying, but I think Andy's not a huge regular in Q3.
No, I've got to agree there. He isn't usually so. I mean, he just made it through with skin his teeth there, pretty much. So here's hoping that he could improve on that.
Apologies if I'm wrong on that one, but I don't think he's been in the other. I'm not sure if he's been in Q3 at all this season. I tell you what, from next season, we're going to try and we'll get the admin to try and keep a record of the qualifying, because that's quite an interesting thing to talk about during qualifying. Is when especially when people get into Q3 for the first time, you know, someone who gets out in Q1 on a regular basis and
such and such, yeah. But so we're just seeing drivers all on. Well, majority of them are out on out laps right now, getting ready to start the first of possibly 2 laps.
Yeah, we've got 6 drivers out on the circuit at the moment. And this is the one session where me and Lee can usually keep up. I think Josh McGill is going to be the first driver to set a lap time.
Yep, then it's going to be Matthew.
Which he does. We always say every week, Matthew's one of those ones that likes to get his Q3 lap in early on. And then he always tries to be the last one at the end of Q3. So this is a very... he always is in a similar routine for Q3 especially.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a thing you see quite often with him.
So, sorry to have cut you off, Matthew. And then we've got Matty Jones. Then we have a Red Bull between them, I believe, and one of them's on an out lap, and that's Andy, so he's not involved in that. We'll look at the track map for a slight reference. And AlphaTauri maybe next. I think that would be Mike, who's just made his way through turn 1.
Well, Lee Craig's coming into Brook once now. Get back on with George McDonald. Just pay attention in a moment as he's just coming out of Chapel onto the hangar straight now. Missed his sector time there, what he was.
Yeah, we usually get a better idea as we get into the second run, because we get a reference from the first run. Oh, he spins across the line. It's a very good time, even though he ended up in the wrong direction. He waited a bit long there to get back underway, but I suppose he's over the start-finish line, so it's not going to impede anyone's lap. Who's up next? It's Matthew with a 1:38, so he made a big mistake on his lap.
Yeah, I think it was coming into the final section there.
Lee Craig slots into second place with a 27.7, and then I think we were going to have the AlphaTauri up next, but he's dived into the pits. I think he invalidated his lap time. Short Marcus is up next, our championship leader. Where's he going to go? On to provisional pole with a 1:27.3. It was a very good lap for Josh McGill, but it would have lost him some time having that pirouette at the start-finish line.
Yep. Just seeing who's going to be next on.
I think it'll be Chuckle. Yes, we've got a little bit of a wait until we see the next lap. He's got a car up ahead of him. That's a Mercedes. That's Lee Craig, who has finished his lap already. Potentially Chuckle's going to get himself a bit of a tow here, but I'm not sure if Lee Craig wants that to happen, as he's going to be quite high up in the order potentially. So he's getting a move on to not give him the tow. And now gets out of the way as he dives to the right-hand side into the pits. And as Chuckle now comes around the final corner onto the start-finish straight, he goes into second. Only just faster than Josh McGill, as you said, spun at the line. So if he can get another lap in like he did, he should improve on his lap time as Chuck goes into fifth with a 1:27.7.
Yep, we've got Janice just coming out the final corner now across the line. See what time he's going to put in. Puts it in fourth with a 1:27.550.
So 3 drivers in the 27.5s, 2 in the 27.8. So the field very, very close in Q3, and it looked like that was going to be the case all the way from the start. Really, it is a circuit that most drivers love, and as I said, the cars on this game, it kind of suits. This track suits the F122 game cars, so not really a surprise, but it's still very impressive as we've still got 4 drivers really, with Matthew not setting a representative time, still to set one. It looks likely we're going to get everyone into the 127s. Are we going to break the 126 barrier by the end? I think that might be a bit of a stretch.
I reckon it's possible. I reckon it'll be done.
Well, it's Short Marcus saying that the only reason why I come to that logic is Short Marcus said that qualifying is not his biggest strength, so I would feel he wouldn't improve maybe as much as others, and behind that we've got 5 tenths off 126, just over 5 tenths, so that's a big improvement when you're already into the mid 127s. That's a lot of time to find.
Yeah, of course.
So we've got Andy coming out. He has got a bit of fuel on board, so this could be a double run. This is almost one of the tracks, though, Lee, where I don't really want to do a double run. This track really does wreck tyres with the high-speed corners.
Yeah, you've got to take it easy, I would say. Like, just to try and keep the wear down. And, of course, you've got to make sure the tyres don't overheat, because if they do, then you kind of buggered it. He's the only one I want to track right now. I suppose it is a good thing to be able to get out, get some clean air.
Yeah, well, we're going to see drivers coming out of the garage in no more than 45 seconds, probably the last car, maybe a little bit longer than that, but he might get lucky here. He's obviously into the third sector. What I'm trying to get at, is he might run into some traffic on his first attempt if he does go for 2. With the time on the board, I feel like he will do 2 attempts. Still looking good for now. If he makes his way through these corners without anyone coming out, so yeah, he will be fine. He will have a clean run for his first run with the track all to himself. He makes his way through turn 1 of Abbey and through Farm, and then into the hairpin of Village, and then into the loop before we go through Aintree and then down the Wellington Straight. And from the commentator's point of view as well, as we see him now go into Brooklands and then back left-handed once again. A lot of 180-degree corners here at Silverstone. An old circuit having the names for the corners definitely gives the circuit a little bit more character, in my opinion. Also, kind of helps me remember the corners better as he goes through Cops, and just keeping it nice and steady at the moment. If he's going for 2 attempts, he will probably want to save those last few inches and meters, as he also decides to cut a bit more grass there at the apex of Chapel. As we make our way down the Hangers Straight, we've got every driver out on the circuit, and the only one on the lap right now is Andy, and he's coming into the final 3 corners as he crosses the line and goes 7th fastest. And with the timer on the board, that is going to be his one and only lap, actually. I've just worked it out. So he's only just over a minute to go. He hasn't got enough time to go again.
And he's out of battery also.
Yeah, well, we can charge them now, can't we? We worked it out with the neutral. It really does work.
Yeah. But hey, you do that, he's going to lose time anyway. So unfortunately for him, he's just going to need to hope and pray that Mike and Matthew mess up their laps. I've seen a bit of lollygagging about. coming into the final section here.
Yeah, there's. Yeah, we'll just pop to that actually, 'cause that really is a bit of a queue actually to start laps. As we've got 10 seconds to go, they did have time, but who's that? That's Ginge, and he's really close to the back of. Is that Short Marcus now? Is that an absolute genius idea from Ginge?
No.
Don't think so. I think he's probably is a little too close. We'll go back to Lee Craig because he's about to come into the final 3 corners. At Club as he makes his way around the penultimate corner, and then the final corner, crosses the line, stays 5th fastest. He was a 10th, just over a 10th up on his lap time. As we've got his teammate now crossing the line, Matty Jones goes 7th, so knocks Andy down. Up next is the Alpine of Josh McGill, and he puts it on provisional pole, 127.0. We're almost into the 126s. Lee thought it could be done. It could be possible as Chuckle crosses the line now, goes 3rd fastest. He's on the 2nd row. At the moment, his Short Marcus is now spun, so he's not going to be able to improve. As Chuckle dives into the pit lane, Ginge is about to come round the final corner. Behind him is Matthew. He crosses the line, goes onto the front row, but it's not enough for pole. As Mike crosses the line in 4th, Josh McGill is on pole for the British Grand Prix and does get that extra point.
So, that was quite an interesting tactic from Ginge to try and get as much of the slipstream as possible over the lap, but yeah, he didn't really work out for him as well as he was expecting. Yeah. Let's see what the gap was between the whole lot. 8 tenths. Just over 8 tenths.
Just over 8 tenths. 3 drivers in the 127.4s and 2 drivers in the 27.3s. So that from sort of pretty much from 2nd place down to 6th is very, very close.
Yeah, the guys have got quite a similar pace. But it's all going to count in a wee moment. So we've got Josh McGill starting in 1st place, getting that pole position. An extra point. 2nd is Matthew. Short Marcus is 3rd. 4th is Mike. 5th is Chuck. Ginger's in 6th. 7th is Chuckle. Lee Craig in 8th. 9th is Matty Jones. And Andy in 10th.
So, as we get ready to get underway, as we said, there could be mixed conditions in this race. And that was given to us by Short Marcus, I believe.
Yeah, it was Short Marcus who gave it the tip-off, so to speak, of the weather. Mad at himself, he was up 2 tenths. Cracking lap by Josh though. That was Short Marcus in the comment section.
So rain is upon us already. Lee.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
2 seconds.
So the rain has already started. We can't see the track, see the pit lane, but it looks like it'll be intermediate tyres at the start. So we can't see the track, so that is kind of a guess. But hopefully it should be a good one. Seeing as the clouds aren't so dark, we might see mixed conditions this evening. As the timer now gets underway, so we've got about 20 seconds until the start of the formation lap. And of course, then we'll see what tyres everyone's on. As I said, just with the way the rain's falling, I think it'll be intermediate. It doesn't look like it will be too wet. Of course, we don't know whether that will get worse or better or stay just about the same throughout the race. As we now find out, actually is looking a little wetter than I first thought. But everyone's on the intermediate.
I mean, there is still quite a bit of spray, but yeah, but it could get worse, I would say. So everyone's going to have to be a little bit vigilant on that end.
Sorry, I was just having a good look at the circuit. I didn't mean to be quiet. Yeah, spray's not too bad. Clouds in the sky is looking promising. Not too cloudy. So we could see a change in weather conditions. And as always, maybe that will change for next game, but always in this game and from what I can remember previous games, the track dries up very, very quickly once the rain stops and the sun comes out.
Yeah, for some reason it's a little bit unrealistic in that sense and how quick it does change, but yeah, hey ho.
So we've got 17 drivers for the race this evening. We've got 26 laps to run, 18 corners on this circuit, wet conditions to start the race. And it surely will be an interesting one nonetheless. There is a big gap in the middle. I think that might be Andy actually just having a real big gap. We've got to be talking 100 metres at least gap to the driver ahead of him. As we now see the drivers start to line up on the line, Josh McGill getting a good point to stop on to. I'm just seeing some drivers doing their traditional donuts to warm up their tyres. Some leagues, as I said in a previous stream, have banned this, but RTG let the drivers do it. We've got the last driver forming up on the grid for this Wednesday tier. This is the final race for F1 22. We've got 5 red lights. And we're away for the 4th round of the Wednesday tier. And Josh McGill has got a decent launch, but not as good as Short Marcus, as he now tries to go round the outside as we go into turn 1, and does so, moves up into the lead. It means Josh McGill's moved down 2 places. Matthew's moved up into 2nd. We've got a yellow flag already. It looks like a McLaren and a Haas who have fallen off at the back. And drivers making some places up as we move back into the field.
Sorry, Ginger and Chuckle side by side, they're great ones, but Chuckle managing to get that 6th place and stay there.
As we see the Williams of AJ Baker, who got disqualified in Q2, is trying to go up the inside of Luffield, but doesn't get the traction on the corner exit. Short Marcus maintains the lead as we are in the 2nd sector, as we make our way now through Copse and down towards the mighty Maggots and Beckett's, which
sorry, Lee Craig going for a move into Maggots on Andy. In the wet, is this guy a madman or just a Absolute genius.
Oh,
Here it is, they're side by side coming to chapel. Oh, getting a bit frisky there. And the way Craig's going to be going up the inside of Stowe here. Is he going to be able to do it, being later on the brakes? See, going side by side, still on the exit. And he's going to be on the inside and a touch of all. And he doesn't manage to get that move. No, that was great battling between the pair of them.
that was amazing. Oh, is now AJ Baker is off. And Jesper, and he's out of the race. It looks like AJ Baker's been able to keep going. I'm not sure what happened there. That's a VSC deployed, not even a safety car, but Jesper's out. He's on the circuit.
No, that was a safety car.
Oh, safety car has been deployed. I didn't see it at first.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a safety car.
5-second penalty also for a severe collision with Matty.
He's lost the front wing as Jesper leaves. So, as we started lap 2, it was the end of the race for Jesper. And AJ Baker has managed to recover it. Not sure if AJ Baker's actually even got any damage. Not visible anyway. I don't think.
Not sure.
Just looking at his car, as best I can, I don't. It's so difficult to see if the floor's damaged. Obviously, I can only see the right-hand side at the minute, as we get a forward-facing shot. But he's not going to pit anyway.
Right.
That look, he looks all right. So I'm not sure what happened there, Lee. Would you have a look back on the stream for me? Would you mind?
Well, what I seen was, as I just went on board with AJ Baker, and it looked like Jesper hot him up the rear on like the final corner, but
Interesting. Anyone going to piss? I don't think they will. Ooh.
oh,
And he does. That's a 5-second penalty, though. So I think he's just going to serve it. A smart decision. Put a fresh set of boots on. He's still basically got. Well, he's got a front wing change as well. So he had to pit. Anyway, I couldn't see that before because I was actually on board with him. Couldn't see the front wing.
So I've just went and had a wee look back at the incident as I did manage to catch it on stream, and it appeared that Jesper was going around the outside of the final corner, and well, basically his front and AJ Baker's rear touched, and it caused both of them to spin out. Fortunately enough, AJ Baker was, well, fortunate, and Jesper unfortunately was the unfortunate one.
Yeah, so it looks like they just. I just had a look when you were talking there. I actually just went to have a little look because it wasn't that my eye line wasn't on those two cars. Yeah, so
I mean, we've got Jesper in the chat right now, so any comments on what just happened? Oh, no,
actually,
that's AJ
well,
Baker.
and he's out.
Huh?
Very strange. Okay. And now
Right.
down to 15. Is Jesper in the chat, is he? How would Jesper feel about, as we got a safety car, a quick little interview about the collision from his perspective? Quite interesting.
Yes, it was quite an interesting what happened there, but I'm quite surprised at what AJ Baker's done right now. Is he's on soft tyres right now, and it's absolutely battering it down.
Yeah. I was on board with him. I didn't even realise. Does he that? Well, he stayed out. He had a chance to pit. He could have just. He was at the back anyway, so.
unless it could be a way to start drying up.
We've got Jesper putting in a comment about his point of view. Lee, you want to quickly...
So, this is Jesper's words here. The volumes was a bit laggy. I tried going round the outside, held as wide as I could, and he went into my front wing, ripping the wing off, and I couldn't avoid the wall. Yeah, it did look like you couldn't avoid the wall, unfortunately, but it's a bit unfortunate that both of you came together. But, yeah, commiserations. Oh, what the...
So we should have the safety car in this lap. So AJ Baker on the soft tyre. He's going to have absolutely no heat in those tyres. On those tyres. On. Was this is a bit soon. It hasn't even stopped raining yet. We would have a lap or two. We say it dries up quick, but I don't think it dries up that quick. So short. Sorry. Oh. A short Marcus now dictates the pace.
Oh, Matthew getting right close to the back of short Marcus there. On his way.
It looks like he's already gone. He's gone quite early. Has he gone? He has. I think it's just because he's going to be tentative in these conditions. He looks like he's got himself a real healthy gap to second place. Just over a second as we go into turn one. As we leave further back, looks like no one else got a jump on anyone else.
Yep, he just went over the apex of turn one just a little bit too much. He's kind of right on the back of Hill, ahead in the McLaren. Looking for that 13th place, but he's kind of lost it as he was going through the loop there. Just got a bit too much. It was a yellow flag in sector one. That's AJ Baker on them soft tyres. A little bit too early there, son. But unfortunate.
Got a battle for fourth place. Well, third place, really. Short Marcus extending his lead now at the front. 1.5 seconds. And as we go to this sort of train that's already formed in the pack behind, just already starting to break away. Get over closer, chuckle breathing down the neck of Mike as we go into club. So I think the news is from AJ Baker, it is going to clear up. The rain will clear up, so it will bring some strategy in. What does AJ Baker do now? He's spun. He's 18 seconds behind 14th place. Now 19. He's just got to cut his losses and just dive in. I think he's coming in.
Yeah, he is. He'll be able to get them off, but that's the problem though, is that they're too... It's one of the longest pit lanes as well, so he's going to lose a lot of time due to that error.
So the other point to note here, Lee, even though we're only on lap 6, Short Marcus has not won a race this season, even though he's leading the championship. So consistency has been key from the Williams man so far this season, but he does, if he wants to have a chance of the championship, he needs to get a couple of wins at least under his belt to try and secure some extra points. As Matthew now starting to gain back some
Chuckle
time.
is going for a move on Mike into Stowe. He's looking up the inside here, and it looks like he's just got ahead there. Nicely done there from the Alfred Mill driver, pitching it up into 5th place. Just as that was happening, the guy Slovens managed to make it past Mad Max as well. If this Bill and Royal Rumble swapping places for 13th at turn 1 there. Nicely done there from the Aston Martin driver. Unfortunately, I missed it though. We've got Ginge chasing down the Alpha Tauri of Mike right now.
Sorry, I had myself on mute there. I was just literally just about to say that and then realised I was on mute. Ginge right on the back of Mike. It's the Red Bull and the Alpha Tauri, of course, the sister teams, but nothing slipping like when it comes to being on track today. We make our way through Chapel and on to the back straight as Ginge now breezes past down the hangar straight. He's up to 6th place as we go into Stowe.
You can see Bill going for a move into the final. Ooh,
Bit of a twitch.
Yeah, he went to turn in there, but Royal Rumble was there. Now Matthew is actually managed to gain a little on Sean Marcus in the previous lap. But we got down to 6/10 now. I think he's going to get a better exit here going into Cops. I think we could see Matthew going for a move on it as we run down the hangar straight into Stowe. Is he going to get enough traction and speed out of the Chapel? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to be close enough. Oh, the Mercedes swap places there.
Yeah. Wonder if that was strategic or not. Back to the front. Matthew still behind, but it's only by 3/10.
Oh, Royal Rumble, sorry. He's going for a move, and it looks like Phil is going for the outside there as well. Mad Max. Well, a little bit of contact. I don't think Mad Max has seen Phil coming up beside him. He's too distracted with the Royal Rumble there overtaking him.
I think Vil went off the track. Vil went off the track. He made contact with Royal Rumble. So the field is starting to spread. There pretty much is a gap in the midpoint, but towards the front, the top 6 are so close together.
Yep, we'll have a wee quick look at it. So the top 6, to the leader is only just over 3 seconds.
Yeah, and in the rain, that's very close.
Yeah,
I mean,
would say so.
you've got to...
Sorry, Aki's going for a move on Matty Jones here, down the hanger, straight into Stone. Oh god, he's got the inside line, there's a little bit of contact between them, and that pushes Matty Jones. Oh, if he was trying to give Aki the squeeze on the inside there. But unfortunately for Aki, his car remained strong and absolutely glued to the tarmac.
So Shortmark is still leading on lap 10. Matthew still breathing down his neck as we go into Brooklands, and Josh McGill now lost a little bit of time. Actually, no, sorry, apologies. He's actually still on about the same amount of time. Can't get within that 1 second. Will get a bit of a slipstream from that. You don't get it so much in the wet. But of course, no DRS. As Mad Max is off the road. It looks like that was at the loop, which is turn 5. Matthew this time getting a very good exit out of Chapel, but I think Shortmarker's just got that bit less downforce on the car and he's just able to pull away out of corners and seems to maybe be a bit more confident on the throttle as he comes down long straight.
Yeah, he does seem to be quicker on a straight line. That's allowing him to pull away from Matthew. Is that Aki? Aki's into the wall. He's into the wall at Stowe. And is that a safety car? It is a safety car.
Oh wow. Well, that's saved AJ as well, actually.
It has.
He's going to be thrilled with that. He's stayed in the race. He's just been driving around at the back, and that's always why it's good never to give up, because he could still get himself into the top 10 by the end of this race. We did see AJ go on the soft tyres. I'm not sure what, unless that was a mistake, because it hasn't. I thought the rain would have stopped by now, but it hasn't.
No, it doesn't appear to have lit up any at all.
Phil, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's a real kick in the teeth when you're under safety car conditions. I suppose Lee Craig.
Oh. Plum.
Yeah, there's not really another word for it, really, is there? That they'll be thinking it about themselves. So, is Shortmarker's going to pit? I think it's a good time to... Yeah, it would be, because it's just about that time. You can go to the end on intermediates. That was very, very close. And I think Matthew and Chuck have got a big enough gap from each other, Lee, to maybe this might be a decent double stack. We'll keep an eye on the Ferraris.
Right, I've got an eye on Chuck right now. He's just pulling in. Oh. He's got place to the Alfa Romeo of Chuckle, by the looks of things. So we've seen Chuckle in, tyres on, down. Oh! And he just loses that place. That was really close there. And I would have said that could have been close to an unsafe release, to be honest, if it was a lot more IRL, to be honest, but... Oh. Oh. Chuckle let him through. Or maybe not.
Oh, maybe he is. Is he being
Well, he
sporting
is.
there? Is there a bit of sportsmanship between the siblings?
Yeah, it's not all
Did,
sibling rivalry.
did he know he got held up, so he knew he would have been in? He'll be getting the RTG Nobel Peace Prize for that.
So, let's see. Has Mike's on mediums? Please tell me I'm not seeing things.
1 second, I was just... Sean Marcus looked like he was racing the Aston Martin safety car. Who, sorry?
Mike, 7th place.
Yeah, he's got mediums on.
Oh, cool, I'm not always in the plot then. He is.
He's indeed.
Yep. Unless this is just some genius strategy in the end, it's just a way to stop him, like, the snap of our fingers. But, then again, I highly doubt that.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. We will have another lap, of course, and that'll probably give AJ Baker enough time to catch up. He's just coming through Luffield at the moment, so he's got a long way to go. So what's Darryl Mike going to do? He stays out, so he's also... I had a feeling that they may have done it by accident. But it doesn't seem to be the case. Of course, no engine. Well, you do have an engineer, but you don't have a human behind you to help you out. It's... Sorry, how do I say this? It's a challenge, isn't it, Lee? Because it's all about the driver, including the strategy. Like the hard thing is you don't know what's going on around you. Like if you didn't know about AJ Baker a few laps ago, like we do, I'm sure he probably wouldn't have picked for the mediums.
Yeah, I would say that Jeff, Mark, whatever your name may be, like the engineer guy you got, he's, we'll say he's very cryptic. We'll say that.
Yes. It's almost like he works for the other team, which he does.
Yeah, actually, yeah. He's a double agent.
No, he's a
triple, quadruple, whatever.
Whatever it is.
He's a mega super spy.
Yeah, he's the engineer to beat all engineers. So we will get going again at the end of this lap as AJ Baker now catches up to the back of the field, and the only advantage he's got, he's been running it pretty much full speed for all of these laps under the safety car, so his tyres will be up to temperature now, where others may be, but he's going to be able to manage that temperature a lot easier as he's only just caught up to the back.
Yeah, definitely. He's able to get himself give himself a little bit of room if he so pleases, that is, and just give himself a little bit of breathing space and get the extra jump on everyone. So he's got a clear view of everyone ahead and when they're going to go, which is right now.
Yeah, he's gone a little bit later on this.
Yeah, but he still managed to get that gap. As we see Mike, has he spun it? Yes.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. My controller just died. I didn't realise it was on that low battery. Who just spun me? Sorry, Mike.
Mike, he just spun and he got a 10-second penalty. Now I'm gonna just say it, that's bullshit.
I think you said that last week as well. I don't know which day it was.
I don't care. You spin it and you get a penalty for that? Nah, bad games. I've seen Royal Rumble was right to the close back of the guy Sloven. It looked like he was going to go for a move into Brooklands there, but he was a bit of it. It's just a bit too far behind.
So the rain hasn't seemed to ease off yet, as we're just over half distance through this race. And short Marcus again extending that gap at the start of the safety car restart. But when we got a bit further on into the stint, Matthew was able to claw back last time, so he may be able to do the same thing again. And Vil starting to put Royal Rumble under some serious pressure as we go down the Hanger Straight. Looks to the right, then looks to the left. But he stayed in 11th place. As the fastest laps are coming in. Potentially this is because they're on fresher tyres. I'm not sure if the track has got better. It seems to have stayed quite stable with these wet conditions. As Mad Max is out, and that's a third safety car. We haven't had this for a long time, actually. Not since last season we haven't had 3 safety cars, I don't think.
No, you do make a fair point, but... Oh,
maybe it's due to the conditions. This is where somewhere... See, I feel on the next game we would have had a red flag by now if this was a carbon copy of this race. If you know... Just the way. I am excited for red flags. Just hopefully they work properly.
Yeah. I mean, I remember on whatever this game was, because you've seen them like previously, and it had to be like a literal proper pile up where you can't even for it to be a red flag, and you're like, really? Really? It was just excessive in order for it to activate. So, I want to see if anyone is going to... Nope. It was just Mike to get off them medium compact tyres. Oh, let's see. If we're swapping places. You there?
Sorry, Lee, 1 second.
Nope.
Sorry, Lee, it was... don't worry. So, how are we doing? Anyone else on risky strategies, Lee?
No, it appears that everyone is on intermediate, the correct tyre.
The correct tyre to be. Yes. If
Honestly,
it is going to clip...
What's a lot of people in here that's got like a thing we just going out on the wrong compound tyres?
Yeah,
and qualifying the goal, there's a driver up at the bottom.
It seems to be a bit catchy today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So sorry, I don't really know what to say at the moment. We've just got to wait for the action to get back underway. It's a bit irritating that we've got another safety car. I don't think it was really needed.
Right, okay, question for you, right? And this goes out to the masses watching also. What's your favourite McNugget like sauce? Like your favourite dipping sauce for your McNuggets?
I like curry personally.
Oh, I'm more of a sweet and sour kind of guy.
Not for me.
I'm just trying to think
I
of random
was going to say, in other news, I had a first time thing happen to me today.
What?
I drove a hybrid for the first time in my life. I've got a courtesy car at the moment. My car's got some problems, and I got a Ford Focus, 23 reg, 600 miles on the clock.
Oh.
Yeah, quite a lot powerful than my little Fiesta. But it was very strange, taking your foot off the throttle, and the car kind of like engine brakes. Very strange. I've never had that. Like it has a little graph which shows it goes to battery, and also when you go down a hill, like, and you drive it under like 20 miles an hour, it's just in like hybrid mode.
Hybrid mode.
Hybrid mode. It literally says that. But it's got sport mode as well. And I found out that was very quick. Oh. And I was going down a country road, and I was doing some miles an hour.
We do not condone any type of speeding or racing illegally. If you're going to do it, please do it on go to your local racetrack. Do it there, please. Drive responsibly.
Yeah, mine's called the Cheltenham Ring Road. So safety cars in. We filled the time talking about other stuff, and we're back underway with Short Marcus once again leading his third safety car restart, but this time hasn't been so cunning with the jump on his rival Matthew, and he's just over half a second ahead, but Matthew's into the wall. I thought he was going to be out there, but he's lost the front wing. Amazed he's been able to get that back on the circuit.
You've seen Chuckle and Chuck battling it out there around turn 3 there. Looks like they're still going to be battling it.
Chuckle tapped the back of that Ferrari. They had some sportsmanship under the safety car. The previous one's the one we just had. And he hits him again. He's unsure of the braking point for the Ferrari ahead of him. It looks like he's been able to get on the brakes a lot later. A couple of errors from the Alfa Romeo driver in a few corners, but both of them have come out unscathed. And Matthew being overtaken by Lee Craig, and then by Lee Craig, and then Lee Craig's teammate Matty Jones. And it looks like Matthew's going to have to pit. Vil having a good Beckett and Chapel, but people struggling with the straight line speed as Matthew now comes through Stowe and will have to come into the pit lane for a new nose. Josh McGill setting the fastest lap of the race, so now Short Marcus has not got a red car behind him, he's got a blue car following him. Are we going to see an end to this rain, Leo? It's looking better.
Took a 3-second time penalty, but I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't think we've all seen into this round. I mean, we've only got, 6 laps to go?
No, 7.5 laps to go.
Yeah, sorry. Miscounted, yeah. But we've seen Matty coming out on the mediums.
Yeah, so he's done it as well.
Wait, Craig's round. Luke Wright's round just coming
Up to Woodcut.
out of Warfield.
Yeah, and just into the right-hander of Woodcut onto the old start-finish straight. Has he got damage? Yes, he has. Has he lost both end plates? It looks like he's just lost the left-hand side. And he's struggling with the downforce as well, yeah, so it looks like he's just lost the left-hand side. So I think he will still pit. Gives Matthew a slight chance to catch up and gain a place, especially with the time penalty that Lee Craig's got to his name, and now another one, as he wasn't able to brake for the pit lane entry line. So that lap 19 for Lee Craig is gone from bad to worse.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate for him. It's just one thing you don't want, especially after so many safety cars. I think the closest battle here would be the battle for 6th. But it comes all the way down to 11th. Ooh, Mike Jones, 3-second time penalty.
And where is Matty Jones? So he's in 6th place. We've got a few drivers with time penalties now. Bar Lee Craig, they've all got 3-second time penalties. Lee Craig's got 8 seconds, a 3-second time penalty, and then he got a 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Royal Rumble's at 8 places as it stands, Lee.
Nicely done.
9 places, sorry, into 8th place, but he's now got himself a
6
3
seconds worth.
Oh, cursing people left, right, and centre. AJ Baker around the outside of Aki into turn 1. Josh McGill now very, very close to the back of the Williams. Short Marcus was able to hold off the Ferrari of Matthew. But is he able to hold off Josh McGill in the Alpine? He's only got 5.5 laps to go. It looks like we're going to have this whole race in wet conditions. I think that might be the first time this season that we've had a whole race in wet conditions potentially. It's looking more likely that will be the case.
Yeah, I think this is the first wet race that we've had, like, in its entirety.
Oh, is Josh McGill getting very, very close there? Almost looked like he was going to go for the lunge up the inside. Ginge, though, moves up on Shuckle. Top 4 don't have any penalties, but the top 2 are just starting to pull away from the rest. We've got a yellow. That's Matthew again. He spud it between turns 3 and turn 4. No damage, so he's able to continue. So So, sorry again, I didn't think my controller was plugged in properly. It must have just come out slightly. The controller just died again. So, on lap 22 at 26, it's been a bit of a struggle this evening for overtaking in the wet conditions. There's still been some, but we've certainly been struggling to see some action on every lap. It's not been the case. We're on lap 23 now, Lee, so 4 laps to go. Who's winning this race, do you think? Short Marcus or Josh McGill? Because I think Josh McGill is just the driver in waiting at the moment. That's how he feels.
It could be the case, but appears I would say that Short Marcus is quite good at managing to keep that gap, and on the straights, just keep out of range when it comes to braking and corners.
Yeah. Just watching them now. They've still got this healthy advantage of just under 3 seconds. So Josh McGill, I haven't really got any trouble behind him, but Short Marcus does, and he's been maintaining this pace all race long and being able to just like deal with the pressure of having a car breathing down his neck. He has every lap, whether it's a blue car or a red car, and now Josh McGill looking again up the inside. But as I said, I just feel like you see it a lot in RTG where drivers just wait until the final couple of laps, and when you're fighting for the lead, that's kind of the most sensible option to go for. As I said, with the drivers behind not really being a problem. I mean, we have got Chuck, he's 2.5 seconds behind. You can see them, but unless one of them make a mistake, this isn't going to be an issue for Short Marcus or Josh McGill with other drivers. It's just these two for now the final 3 laps. And as I said, this now, Lee, will be a full wet race, whether the rain stops now. Race with wet conditions all the way through if the rain stops now.
Yeah, I mean, these two battled out the whole last wee bit of this race. Whether Josh McGill's going to get it or not, anybody's guess, but like I said, Short Marcus is managing to keep that gap quite nicely. And I would say he's got a nice amount of battery as well, should he recover.
He does have. They both do, to be fair. I think that they do, and it's much easier to maintain battery in wet conditions because the braking zones are so much longer. Also,
yeah, because the braking zones are so much longer, and due to it being a little bit more slidey, you're not able to get the traction properly in the wet.
Yeah. So we now have 2 laps remaining as we now cross the line. We're just focusing on the top 2. We've got Ginge just setting the fastest lap of the race, so he's going for the extra point. I wonder how many other drivers are going to try and do this now with the last couple of laps. Got Chuckle as well with some breathing space, but behind them a train has formed, so this could be interesting. Who's going to get the last positions in the top 10? Of course, we've got points all the way down to 20th in RTG, but of course the main points are in the top 10 still, so it's the place you really want to be. As we are still watching the top 2, and I think Short Marcus from lap 1, Lee, is led every lap. Is Matthew now snatches the fastest lap off Ginge, and they'll have one more lap to attempt that fastest lap, acquire that fastest lap. And Josh McGill now really putting pressure on with a lap and a bit to go. Is he going to want to get the move done here? I think we're going to see a bit of a squabble between these two for the final lap. I won't be surprised. Josh not going for it there, holding back, waiting a little bit longer as we go down the hill and into Club Corner before we enter the final lap. And it'll be the final lap for this tier, whether it was a Wednesday or a Sunday in F1 22. Let's hope it's a good one, especially for these two at the top of the field as Vil and Royal Rumble change positions. But we'll carry on with the top two. As I said, Josh really starting to get feisty now, Lee. He's definitely not going to settle for that second place.
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, he's already used up quite a bit of his battery compared to what he had just recently. Sean Marcus is just able to use this willy-nilly. Matthew getting another 3-second time penalty. Well, getting a 3-second time penalty, should I say. My mistake there. Depending on how Marcus takes Maggots and Beckett's at Chapel, it looks like it's his race.
It's looking more and more likely that's the case. AJ Baker has now got himself up into the top 10. We said that when the second safety car came out, and he's got a load of drivers ahead of him with penalties. This could be a really good result for AJ Baker, seeing as what happened earlier on. But as we go to the front and through Stowe for the final time for the top two, as Sean Marcus took the lead on lap 1, he maintained that lead. He hasn't won this season, the championship leader, but he wins in round 4 at the British Grand Prix for his home Grand Prix, as Josh McGill finishes in second and Chuck comes home in third. Ginge follows close behind, and now we've got a short wait for 5th place, and then a shorter one for 6th as Chuckle comes across the line facing the wrong direction. And Bugatti moves up, it stays in 7th. Vil, Royal Rumble, AJ Baker moves up to 8th, so a fantastic race for him from where he came from. Royal Rumble moves down to 11th. Lee Craig is 12th, Matthew is 13th. Guess what, we haven't had it for a while. We've just lost Lee right at the end of the stream. So I'm not sure if we'll get him back or not. But that is it. We're just waiting for 2 more drivers. Of course, Matthew having a great first half of the race, but it all went wrong in the second pass. And that is your final race of the Wednesday tier, your penultimate race on RTG for F1 22. So, the final standings for this race. Short Marcus won his first race, starting 3rd on the grid. Josh McGill started on pole, but he finished in 2nd. Then Chuck rounded out the podium. Ginge was 4th, 5th was Chuckle, 6th was Matty Jones, 7th was Bugatti. AJ Baker, after dropping down to the bottom of the field, moved his way up to 8th place. 9th was Vil. Aki was 10th, 11th was Royal Rumble, 12th was Lee Craig. Matthew was 13th and a lap down. DRL Mike, Mad Max, Andy and Jesper all did not finish this race. Everyone, thanks very much for watching. Please make sure to like the video, especially the drivers who are in RTG who come along to watch. It's much appreciated and it gets your stream out there a little bit more. Please make sure to subscribe. Thank you once again for the 300 and more subscribers we have now. Check us out tomorrow night. I'll find out what that is. I usually find out before the end of the stream, but today I haven't done that, so you'll just have to bear with me for 2 seconds. But it was not a bad final race, as Lee says. Internet went again. I just said, don't think Lee's going to come back. I'll be very surprised if he does. We'll talk about next race on Wednesday. And that will be, I think, Monza. It should be a 100% race with a short qualifying session. Not sure if that's going to happen. That's next Wednesday. Next week... next week. 2 weeks. This whole race from start to finish, I've been terrible today, so apologise for my terrible commentating today. It's not been a good one from me. So in 3 weeks' time, we'll be at Monza. Not sure if it's a 100% race. That's what it says. It could be. Am I reading the wrong one again there? Oh, 1 second, guys. So yeah, Wednesday would be Monza next time out, and then on tomorrow night we'll be at Miami for the final race on F122, and then we'll be in Portugal a few weeks after that. Thank you very much for watching. So apologies for my bad commentating. Apologies on Lee's behalf for him cutting out right at the end of the stream, but better later than earlier. I was going to say later than ever, but that's not right. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you for one more time on F122 next time around. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's from me, goodbye, and from Lee, it would have been peace out.